Sometimes the scene is serious, heavy, full of silence. And suddenly someone laughs, not because they found it funny, not because they want to disrespect the moment, but because they simply can't hold it in. It's that laughter that escapes at the worst possible time and brings immediate shame, and, at the same time, a strange relief. The mind understands the gravity of the situation, but the body responds in a completely different way. This kind of misplaced laughter isn't mockery and it isn't lack of empathy. Very often, it's the opposite. It's excess sensitivity. It's as if the tension in the environment makes the body desperately search for a way to release internal pressure. In fights, serious discussions, funerals, or moments of deep sadness, the person feels anxiety rising, the heart racing, breathing tight. And laughter appears like a release valve. Those who go through this usually carry a very specific shame. They know they shouldn't laugh. They know the moment demands seriousness. But the laughter escapes before logic can catch it. It's as if the mind is trying to control something that the body has already decided on its own. And this disconnection generates that persistent thought, why did I do that? What many people don't know is that this laughter has an explanation. It often happens with people who feel more than they can express. Laughter appears as an emotional reflex, the last resource the body finds to avoid collapse, an explosion of crying, or a panic reaction. It's the body's way of saying, "This is too big for me. I'll transform it into something I can handle." If you've ever laughed at an inappropriate time and then wanted to disappear, this video is for you. We're going to understand what's really behind laughter that appears when everything is serious, what it reveals about the way your mind deals with tension and vulnerability. Comment below, has this ever happened to you? Has it embarrassed you? I want to know how many people identify. And if you want to keep exploring the psychology behind behaviors that almost no one understands, subscribe to the channel. Laughing in serious moments looks like loss of control, but inside, it's the opposite. It's an attempt at control when emotions feel too intense. This laughter doesn't stem from ignoring the importance of the moment, but from not knowing what to do with everything you're feeling. Psychologists see it as a defense mechanism and as nervous discharge. In emotionally charged situations, fear, shame, sadness, anxiety, some people activate humor to avoid the real emotion from appearing too strongly. Laughter works like a shield against discomfort. It prevents the person from crying, freezing, or feeling too exposed. It's not a conscious choice. It's a reflex. This is linked to what psychology calls emotional incongruence. The body expresses something different from what the mind feels because it can't process everything at once. The person feels sadness, embarrassment, fear. But the body responds with humor. It's common in sensitive, anxious people, or in those who have had little space in life to express feelings directly. In many cases, this reaction has deep roots. Some children grow up in tense homes and discover early that the best way to avoid conflict is to break the ice. They make jokes to calm angry adults, distract from fights or soften scoldings. The brain learns. Humor lowers the danger. As an adult, when tension arises, the body repeats the same strategy, even when it no longer makes sense. Others were never allowed to express emotions openly. When they cried, they were mocked. When they were afraid, they were told to toughen up. When they were angry, they were called ungrateful. Emotion became dangerous. Humor, safe. And so the child learned to hide what they felt behind jokes and laughter. As an adult, laughing in serious moments is just this old defense still activated. Over time, transforming tension into laughter starts to have a cost. The person begins to feel inadequate, as if they always react in the wrong way at the wrong time. They replay scenes in their head, feel delayed shame, and criticize themselves harshly. This self-criticism wears them down and reinforces the belief that there is something wrong with them. It also complicates relationships. In important conversations, serious talks, deep vents, delicate moments, laughter gets in the way of vulnerability. The person changes the subject, makes jokes, or seems to mock what is serious, even when that's not their intention. Those around them may interpret it as coldness or lack of respect. And this creates conflicts that the person doesn't know how to explain. I didn't laugh because I didn't care. I laughed because I didn't know how to handle it. From a psychological point of view, constantly using humor as a shield can block emotional processing. The body feels the tension, but laughter interrupts the experience. It's like stopping a cry before the first tear falls. The emotion doesn't disappear. It stays stored. Sooner or later, it shows up in other ways. Explosions out of proportion, anxiety, irritability, or that feeling of, I don't even know why I'm like this. The good news is that this behavior can be understood and transformed. Nervous laughter isn't proof that you don't care. It's proof that something inside you finds that situation too big to deal with directly. When you see it this way, guilt starts to give space to compassion. The transformation begins when you learn to notice your own laughter instead of only judging it. Instead of thinking, I ruined everything, you can ask, what was I feeling at that exact moment? Shame? Fear? Powerlessness? This question shifts the focus from behavior to emotion. Nervous laughter doesn't come because you want to, but because something inside you felt unprotected. A simple practice is to create a small pause between the impulse to laugh and the reaction. When you feel the laughter rising, take a slow breath and pay attention to your body, heart, hands, jaw. Often, you'll notice tension. Naming it. I'm very nervous already reduces the intensity. It's not about forcing yourself to never laugh, but about giving your body another option besides automatically turning pain into humor. Another important step is to accept vulnerability as part of the experience, not as failure. Many people laugh because they're terrified of crying, shaking, or showing how fragile they feel. But intense emotion isn't a problem. It's information. It's a sign that something matters to you. Allowing yourself to be moved, instead of covering everything with jokes, slowly reduces the need to hide behind laughter. It also helps to recognize your own triggers. Situations of exposure, criticism, shame, and emotional tension tend to activate inappropriate laughter. Knowing this in advance lets you prepare. You can tell yourself, it makes sense that I get tense here. I can breathe and stay. This simple awareness reduces panic and the urge to escape with a joke. Practicing more direct emotional expressions is another path. If something makes you nervous, saying, I get a little anxious in situations like this, can relieve the internal pressure much more than masking it with laughter. If something hurts, saying, this touched me, gives your body permission to feel, instead of having to disguise the pain as humor. Psychologists call this emotional integration, when what you feel and what you express begin to line up. Laughter doesn't need to disappear from serious moments, but it stops being an automatic shield and becomes a conscious choice. And that brings freedom. The freedom to be present without fear of reacting wrong all the time. With time, you realize you don't need to be the relief of every environment, nor the person who always lightens the mood. You don't need to carry everyone's emotional weight. You can be serious when things are serious and laugh when something is truly funny, not just when you're afraid. In the end, those who laugh in serious moments aren't mocking pain. They're trying not to be swallowed by it. It's a laughter that doesn't come from joy, but from tension. It doesn't come from disregard, but from fear. It's the body saying, in the way it can, this is too much for me. When you understand this, You stop seeing yourself as someone strange and begin to see yourself as someone who just learned to protect their sensitivity in a very peculiar way. And from there, step by step, you can teach your body something new. That it's possible to feel fully without needing to hide behind a nervous laugh. If this content made sense to you, share it with someone who lives this and has never understood why. And if you want to keep exploring the psychology behind behaviors that almost no one explains, subscribe to the channel. Because understanding nervous laughter is also a way of understanding yourself. And learning to feel at the right time, in the right measure, without needing to escape from your own intensity.